Hello everybody. Where are the cameras? Hold on. There, but I think there's one on top too. It looks like I'm looking at it. Yeah, there is. Okay. Hello everybody. This is Tiffany Brooks Browning. And this is not going up on Wi-Fi because I'm not connected to the internet. This is just my normal camera. We had some great news today. Yesterday I was somewhere and I was hearing the round table put up their sign say Washington. The other one said Oregon, and it sounded like it was support for my situation and whatever I'm connected to. Today we got some good news that it was 100% a go on sticking up for me and my AEIOU and a bunch of other women's rights and things that are pretty cool for my company that I started in my head with people that exist called entities, but not where the humans are at necessarily unless they're doing it on a computer. And there was a couple things in there that, like, they said they didn't realize that certain people didn't live here. The thing here is they're getting different people mixed up with different people, and different kids and different adults mixed with different kids and different adults. So there was a bunch of confusion on who is who, because they were seeing somebody doing drugs every day and a bunch of other stuff. So they got that ironed out, and we're not going to be breaking the law anymore. They're saying they have been committing, well, for me, I have a disparagement settlement and procurement with a DEI situation, and that basically means the DEI makes it an unfavorable work environment in my own mind, and then the other thing is disparagement is where they make you an undesirable commodity to stick up for. They belittle you, they humiliate you, and stuff like that. But it's way worse than that. It's so illegal. They have invaded my privacy for 4 years. So I am by myself in my own body for 4 years, and they were listening to my thoughts and paying attention to certain things off and on for 2 years over there in Oregon, illegally, because they had connected me to something that somebody else was doing. He was either doing something virtual or he was like had been in trouble before. So anyway, the other thing is tyranny of evil men, and I'm not sure which side that goes on right now. But the big one here is treason. If you look up the word treason, it's pretty synonymous with a bunch of other stuff. But in layman's terms, what I gathered from it was the city or the state or the federal government not doing their job properly and or breaking the laws. I have civil rights and human rights and constitutional rights because I've never been in trouble. And for example, Oregon State, Feds District, or the people who've been in trouble before, or whoever they're not, the police and stuff that were on their guy's side and a bunch of evil connections followed me here after I got away from them, because I moved to get away from them because the people were trying to tell me I was crazy because of who I was talking to off and on in my head. And I moved to get away from them to Washington State. I've never been in trouble. They were not allowed to follow me here without an invitation. And they've been doing nothing but torment me about what somebody else is doing somewhere else, or that might not have done it. They've switched names on different people. It's caused this humongous problem. I've had physical problems. I've been in the hospital 5 times. Like, it's just really, really illegal. And it's not just Oregon, Arizona too, and Washington has something to do with something, but I'm not sure if they took part in the tyranny on accident or not. Because you're not allowed to look through my eyes on the ground. You're not allowed, unless I invite you, you're not allowed to look through my eyes on the ground. You're not allowed to talk out of my mouth on the ground. You're not allowed to see me going to the restroom or anything like that, and or judge me for anything. You're not allowed to let people up here talk crap to me from an alternate universe that exists just so that nobody wants to be on my team up here. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get to shower. Like, I rarely shower, probably a couple times a year, and I do it with a bean suit cover up on because they be coming down here and making fun of me and thinking I'm doing it up here out loud. So when you're up there, you have to log out and do your personal stuff. And make fun of me being fat and a bunch of other stuff too. And it's been like that for 4 years. And with that being said, I can't pee alone, I can't poop alone, I can't go to the doctor alone, I can't have a boyfriend, I don't have anything personal that I can do at all except be a mom, which is the most illegal thing when you find out that I got off that life and got away from those people to be a good mom to my kids. And then they stole that right from me, my availability to get a job and be able to comprehend what people are saying to me. Or remember it even, because when someone else is talking to me, we're talking through my head for the most part, and or they're talking through my head to someone else. So either if I'm not hearing it, sometimes they can be lulling me out, and I'm staring at the person like I'm listening, and I don't even realize that I'm not hearing what they're saying until they're looking at me like, "Did you hear me?" And I'm all, "Huh? What'd I say?" I'm all, I forgot. You know, and it's just, you're standing there stupid looking or whatever. But the other thing is, sometimes we do have to send messages through my head, and they have to have my full contention over there, because that's something different. Anyway, if I'm not participating in them sending the messages, the message chain gets broken, and then it will either not finish, so the person that we're talking to through my head won't hear the whole message, and or it moves on to the wrong person. And half the time I'm not even supposed to have my own thoughts, because it looks like it's thoughts of somebody else that they do not like. And I don't really know what else. I guess the rest of this is just going to be nothing. Sitting here doing nothing. Yeah, well, usually I do live YouTube for this kind of stuff, but I can't do that on here right now for some reason. My nose is burning. I ran out of tissue, so I need a wash rag. Oh, I wasn't expecting this today. Otherwise, I would have put some makeup on and maybe washed my hair. That's what I mean. Like these kinds of combinations don't do that there. They don't come with warning. It just happens. I'll be doing something else, and you hear, a very important person up here talking about me in third person, like I can't hear them. Law enforcement. I'm a multimillionaire. Multimillionaire. 3 years ago, we did some stuff in my body and in my head. And the owner of All Games, that's a code word there. It said, if this works, you'll be rich. You'll never have to worry about money ever again. You on the ground where the humans are at, and whoever you are in here. And I did it, and it worked for them. But they didn't realize I was me and not someone else. And everybody that was attached to them that was getting my money or my representation never told them the truth either, because they were getting the money. So, it's kind of like it starts at a human level, and then it goes to like line one, and then it goes to sort of like entities mixed in with law enforcement and the big guys up at the round table. But they all report, it goes up. So a lot of stuff is being covered up right now because of how illegal what they did to me is. And it wasn't law enforcement that did it. It was just law enforcement that took credit for it after it became lucrative, so to speak. I don't believe in paid informancy whatsoever. I'm a Christian, and I don't want to hurt anyone. I mean, of course, I don't want people, committing crimes or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't look at somebody and judge them, and I don't want to go tell on them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been in bad positions too. I mean, I didn't really do any criminal activity, but my friends did. And I would never be sitting there judging my friends just because I changed my life for the better and they haven't yet. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be telling on them or picking a different person to look at, which is what they've been doing, and tormenting me about it underneath here with my friends' names and my family's names on it. And mine too. and the simple fact that I'm a reflection or a name code for somebody else somewhere else in the world, and it can look like I'm doing what they're doing through a computer system, is the scariest thing you can imagine, especially when you find out it can move from one person to a different person on a computer screen. And most of the people that hooked me into this situation, everybody that hooked me into this situation was pretty much a criminal, had been one at one point. And I'd been hooked in for like 3 years or so before I moved over here 4 years ago, maybe 2. But whatever they did after that is the most illegal procedure you can ever do to anyone. Like, it's so illegal. Especially when I had no idea what was going on. I mean, I knew something was happening, but I didn't know what was going on. I thought they were getting me disconnected. And that's not what happened. They reconnected me times 15. Not to mention they're showing stuff in an alternate reality of people doing things where the humans are at and aren't at. And half the time the person they think is doing it is not the one doing it. And it's personal stuff too, like, personal time with your fiance or husband, corporate stuff, people watching it, talking about it, and I can hear them talking about it. Portland, Oregon makes money on it because virtual reality pornography is legal there, and so is online gambling. It's just not legal here at all. And I'm a Christian, I would never do porno or anything like that. I don't gamble either. It's not because of a Christian thing, it's just I've seen people lose their whole entire house because of it, being addicted to it. And I never had the money for that kind of stuff anyway. I wasn't a server or, bartender. Because those kind of people understand why they do it, because there's, the VP machines in where they work, and you get tips and stuff. So it's like, either way, they get their hourly. And if they choose to spend their tips, then, oops, there goes their cigarette money or something, you know what I mean? But that's not how it is for most people who have a hourly or salary job. You have to look at it as in, oh, there goes 2 hours worth of work. Or whatever. As far as my drinking goes, I'm doing great. I stopped drinking during the weeks, Monday through Friday till after 5, and I got it down to a fifth, no more than a fifth in one weekend. I'm up 18 hours a day, so that's a fifth drinking over 18 times 3, 18, so it's 36. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 36 or something. 44, around 45 hours. If I drink one when I wake up to when I go to sleep, which has happened before. I'm the anomaly. I am the rift in the human code, brainstem, algorithm. I have never been in trouble, no. I was never accused of nothing. They can change my videos. They actually changed one of my YouTube videos to say I killed somebody on accident and was falsely accused of something different. And I had watched the video back like 2 or 3 times one day and the next day, and then I watched it like a month later. And it said something completely different, and I was like, no freaking way. It had like 12 views. Or something like that. And I can't even prove who changed it. I just know it wasn't a human. It was someone up here. And I don't even know for sure if they changed mine on purpose or if they changed someone that's connected to mine. Because every time I make a live YouTube video, apparently other people's videos are connected to it. And or what's falling down behind me that a normal human can't see can be shown in the video feed up here. Well, honestly, what I see usually is copy. Sometimes I'll see what the computer draws as like people's spirits, like what the computer imagines, like what their thoughts are and what they look like. If they're an evil person that's got like sharp teeth and turning into like, and then sometimes I'll see like a dog turn into a different dog, turn into a horse, turn into a human, turn into a horse. You can see it rotating into different people, different things. I'll see people sitting with hoodies on and face masks a lot. Looks like they're sitting at a conference table or maybe in a questioning room. Oh, words, yeah. There'll be these globes that come down and like they'll have words on them. Like Browning in Old English is supposed like a support ball or whatever. It's like a virtual reality advertising, but that's not the word. I tried to remember how to remember what the flipping word was. Anyway, you know those 3D things you see in the movies and it like pops up and like in a war game or something, you're seeing like a housing development, right? You can swipe it on the screen and everybody at the round table can see the way that you can turn it sideways. Yeah, like that. It's pictures like that. And then on the wall, I'll see words that like somebody has written down on a piece of paper somewhere. Like it could be an affidavit story, it could be letters from jail. I don't know what they are unless they show me the word that pops out. So depending on who's in my body, certain words will pop out. Like that just said words. That says justice. Against what? The force for sunshine. Synergist call. Light. Anyway. Yeah. I seen one of me changing, trying my clothes on at Ross yesterday. I don't know why they look naked when they're not. It's X-ray vision, I think. No, they don't ever have clothes on. Unless they're sitting at a table. And it doesn't ever show their head either, it just shows their body. And sometimes not even just their body, or even their body, just a certain area of their body. I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube spanning over 2 years. And that's just on one channel. That's the Tiffany Browning Click the Live tab channel, which as soon as whatever comes my way, as soon as that comes, that'll be obsolete because there's too much information on it. But I've been reaching out to the public for well over 2 years, begging for help. And something or someone was in the way, and I don't know if it's Satan or if it was the step up thing. Because the people at the top believe a person under them, a person under the person under them. And some of it was on purpose, and some of it wasn't. Because the first person got caught up in a lie at some point. That's what I'm saying though, the UE people, which they call the upper echelon, they're not always real. They're like entities, you know? They're not like necessarily a human. They could be like an angel person. They do not appreciate lies. And if they can read your mind and find out that you lied for selfish gain, then they really don't like that. If they lie to fear, they understand, but they don't like that either. If they lie to protect somebody else, they still don't like it. And I'm not a liar. Yeah, my Uncle Jim's here. No, he's not here. I have told several people my stories. They've changed my Portland Police Bureau reports. They've added stuff to it, like a video showing me doing something with me supposedly saying I'm not doing it. And I have no idea what the videos are. I don't know if it was something that somebody else did and it was my reflection, or if it's something stupid I made a long time ago and they're trying to humiliate me, or what. I don't know. I can't see it. They haven't sent it to me. And I called them 3 years ago to make a police report. over the phone. They wouldn't call me back. Well, I wasn't going to tell on anybody. I was going to tell them my situation about how I got connected and how I'm still connected illegally, and there may or may not have been some scary stuff in my apartment when I went back, and I didn't call the cops because I'm afraid of the people that are around there. Because after I moved in March of 2022, someone that would come in and out of my house was still there, and he was a drug addict, and he had other drug addict friends that may or may not have came when he wasn't there. And so basically it turned into a flop house, which is where drug addicts go to sleep and do drugs and or exchange stolen goods, and they stay there until they get kicked out. Yeah, but my name was on the lease, not theirs. And they did open my middle hallway bedroom door at one point, twice actually. And I don't think the second time, when I lived here at my mom's, that they did it, I don't think they even realized that it was the office. I think they thought it was my front bedroom that they couldn't get into because it was locked. Even if they did know it was the office, they wouldn't care because they weren't my real friends. They were just pieces of crap. Yeah, well, when you're hearing stuff in your head about people being killers and murderers and they're gonna hurt your kids in jail and all this stuff if you don't give them what they want and all this stuff, or they're gonna rob you or steal your car or whatever, you tend to just not trust absolutely anybody, anyone. You know, I never stole from anybody or did anything scandalous when I was over there. It was the people around me that were doing it, and it was mostly dudes. And I wasn't a part of any of it. I mean, I might have saw something I assumed might have been stolen every once in a while, but that's about it. And for the most part, I was the one getting stolen from. I lost my whole apartment because they didn't pay for it. They promised from up here they would pay for it for keeping me connected for more than a couple months while they were trying to find somebody who supposedly was a capital punishment crime person. And that's just part of it. There's a bunch of other stuff involved too. And then they told me they can't disconnect me or I'll die because I've been electrocuted too many times. And I don't even know for sure if that's the truth or if that's just them saying I'll die up here when I'm not me, someone else. The first time I went to the hospital was, I had put toilet paper in my ear so I could hear what they were saying still better. And I got stuck to my eardrum the second time I went to the hospital. They had been submitting transmissions, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this stuff, but anyway, they had been submitting transmissions, and I mean, they were literally saying submit transmission out of my mouth. I had no idea what submit transmission meant. Hey, there's my jean skirt, the ruffle on the bottom. And next thing you know, I'm outside, and a satellite or something electronic from the sky came down, and it felt like it looked like it came down. A silver thing kind of lit up, came down and went right into my eyes, and then all of a sudden, my whole body started burning all over. And I started dehydrating instantly to where, like, I was freaking out, like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And it hurt. The pain, the burning hurt. It wasn't super, like, I'm crying because of the pain. It was just scary. But the dehydration thing was bad. Like, super bad. Like, I was chugging water, and I was so scared. My mom ended up calling 911, and they took me to the hospital, and they were trying to tell me I couldn't drink water in case I had to go to surgery. I'm like, dude, you got me messed up. And then next thing you know, I talked to an entity that had an Asian accent, and he said that he's going to, the words he said were something like, build some Robotrons using the electricity from the generators at the hospital combined with the ones that was up here to absorb the electricity so I won't die and they can stay alive through me still. To save my life as a human and theirs up here. And it worked. It took about a half an hour. But then all of a sudden, the dehydration stopped, the burning stopped, and everything stopped. And I didn't really have any other physical torture other than life force loss. I had life force loss twice. It's just where all of a sudden you can't hold your head up. Yeah, it kind of feels like, like probably what it would feel like if you had like low blood sugar or high blood sugar, whatever that isn't. But one time I actually felt my life energy leave my body out of my brain and I almost died. can see, like, I have to hear this stuff all day. Like, he's saying, suck my DB, like, yelling it down here. And I have no idea who he's talking to, if he thinks I said something or did something. It's all day long. They'll say my whole name. They'll say, Tiffany Brooks Browning's not your friend right now, or suck my D, Tiffany, or it's mean stuff, stupid, ugly, fat B word, and all this just mean stuff when it's not me doing what they're looking at. Yeah, well, some of these people, they don't do drugs at all and they've never been in trouble, and they're all trying to be paid informants in an alternate reality, sort of, off people who do drugs, and they get mad at me for not wanting to be a part of it. And I'm like, first of all, you guys are sitting on your high horse judging my family and friends from my past life. I'm the only one that made the right choice so far that I know of. The last thing I want you to do is putting them down because they haven't yet, and then coming over here and making me, you know, because I hear them, and then I hear these other people over here like, well, we can't be connected because I guess we do drugs on the ground, but we haven't done drugs up here, and I do understand that part, but it's just sad, and it's traumatizing, but the main thing about the settlement here is I have no privacy, and they don't know how to disconnect me, and I'm connected all the way to Florida, just like I am now, talking out of my mouth, out of my head, in my ear, outer ear. I see pictures everywhere I go. Sometimes it's hard to drive at night because it's coming down in black instead of white. It looks like clouds, like it's hard to explain. That's silver stuff, that stuff like, it's electronic something, and it can burn the people in alternate reality if they're connected to a robot, sort of. It's half an hour. I talked to this entity one time, and he had, but at least in my reflection, it looked like he had white eyelids or white eyelashes or something, and he was monotone with zero emotion in it, and I was like, I asked him something, and he's like, we don't like women and children. I'm all, what? Why not? He's all, they gross us out. And he said something about being asexual or something like that, like we produce. He basically said we're men, aliens that reproduce men without intercourse, and they don't like women and children. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that our government's being run by an entity that doesn't love women and children, and they're using them, and then coming over here and making fun of me out loud and showing my stuff that I'm not doing? Can you imagine that? And I'm hearing these kids over here, Mommy, help me! Mommy! Mommy, help me! Mommy! Or saying like some other kids or teenagers saying names like, help us! Help us! We need help! Help us! Tiffany! Tiffany, help us! Help us! And I'm sitting here asking these people, I'm like, dude, are they okay? They're like, I don't know. I can't see it, man. I don't know. I'm not over there. And we got other guys sitting in my body like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why they're screaming. I can't help them because if I help them, then it'll go on me and then I'll get in trouble. I'm like, what? And then I'll hear sweet things like little entity, precious moment type voices being like, thank you, Mommy, or Daddy, or whatever. Come in.
I'm gonna go take a shower for somebody else comes in.
Okay.
Your clothes are done.
Oh, okay. Can I go change the laundry over? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have proof. Okay, all my friends from my old life know I'm telling the truth, and they're the only ones that do. Nobody that have never been in trouble or part of this game from Oregon knows what I'm talking about except law enforcement. And they have oftentimes failed to admit exists either because of how legal it is through me. Yeah, because the other people don't talk about it. They've been instructed not to because they've been in trouble before. Called confidentials and paids and informants and stuff like that. somehow or another, whatever they're doing, and who or whatever they have me connected to, it's telling my brain that I'm other people, and it's not that my personality thinks it, it's that my body does. It's reacting to it, like it's reacting like I have diabetes or something, and it's timing stuff into me, and I've gained like a whole lot of weight. It's like almost like a pound a week now for like, I don't know, man, about a year, maybe a year and a half. And like even my doctor was like, no way, because I went to the hospital and they weighed me, it was 155. I was like, 155? Are you kidding me? I just weighed 125 like I don't know how long ago. And then I went to the doctor like a month later or 2 months later or a couple months later, and she's like, there is no freaking way you could have gained 12 pounds since your last appointment. There is no way you could have gained 12 pounds. And I was like, I gained 12 more pounds? What the crap? And I've had other things like blood in my urine when I don't have a kidney infection, and other things too. My eyesight does change. I can zoom in and zoom out like a camera thing sometimes. I have something called a sidewinder, so I have peripheral vision that sees just barely out here. Stuff from an alternate universe. Like I can be driving, and if I'm not careful, if I have the wrong people in my eye, the car that's back there, it'll be all of a sudden right next to me when it's not, and or I'll see a different car that's not there. A unit of measure called my ex and said that they had gotten a report about something, and they questioned him and asked him if I lived there, if my daughter lived with me, and he said no, she lived with us since pre-K, and they told him that his niece got an email from me. I never emailed his niece, and he was mad at me, saying, he's like, you labeled everybody in our house with this report? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't make no freaking report, man. He thought I made it, whatever it was. Like, these people have done whatever they can to not just decimate my character, but make me look schizophrenic. They talk out of my mouth when I don't want them to. They say, like, at the worst time, saying the wrong thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? And it's like, it's so annoying because, like, you know, let's just say you're talking to your boss and you're like, yeah, I know, I filed those papers, but honestly, I cheated, and, wait, no, I didn't. What are you saying? Like, you can't argue with yourself when it's not yourself talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's just so annoying. And half the time the people that talk out of my mouth don't even necessarily realize they're talking out of my mouth and not someone else's. But for the most part, the things that they have said, it was only like twice now, or 3 times, they've said some inappropriate stuff that I would have never said. It was a setup. People up here are acting like they're better than me and all this stuff because they were never in that involved with those kind of people or whatever. But my situation is very special because I didn't choose the wrong path. The wrong path chose me on accident, and I was stuck there. I didn't want to be there. I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. I just didn't know how to get out of it. It was like, that's what I mean. Like, say your husband dies and you don't have life insurance, and you can't get disability or anything. Like, you lose your house, you lose your life. All of a sudden you're living out of your car. Or it was something like that. And I lived that life for about 3 years, and that life I got away from it when I was able to move in with my mom 4 years ago. And then I lost everything I had in my apartment, which is all the stuff I earned my whole entire life working. I was with my ex for 14 years, and I was with my son's dad before that, with one date in between, for 6. There was no drugs there or anything like that. We were good people, man. I still am a good person. The life that I was stuck into was scary. Like, I did not fit in at all. I just depressed and stayed in my room almost all the time, just like I do now, except I'm interactive with it. And I'm not the one on drugs, it's everybody else. I lost all my pictures, all my furniture, all my craft stuff, all my clothes, everything. It's gone. Because I didn't have a ride to pick it up or anywhere to put it. And I thought they were going to pay for it like they promised, and they didn't. They've changed all my passwords to all my Google accounts, so I can't even go into the pictures. Like, I had like 2 banker's boxes full of pictures from when I was little all the way up to whatever age I wasn't, you know, showing me being a mom, all my stages of pregnancy, all super cute pictures. And they took it, it's all gone. And now I have an eviction on my record because somebody went down to the courthouse and said they were going to catch up on my rent. And it's a long story, but anyway. When they had told me I could come back anytime and get my stuff because they were redoing the apartments and my apartment was connected to the office, so it didn't matter because they didn't really use the apartment anyway. They just used it for the restroom, if they're even there. And changed all my passwords to all my Google accounts, so I can't even see my pictures of me being a mom even on Google or anything. All I have is the pictures from the last 4 years, which is nothing except us talking out of her mouth. There's some person. I invented something called the Artificial Echelon Intelligence Other Universe. It has definitely evolved in the last 4 years. It started off as the Empress Division, which was supposed to be for Sreya and Mommy because they were supposed to give me money on the ground to get a car so I could see her. And if I was able to be up there, I would be able to be up in the angel side where everything's all perfect and pretty and everybody's peaceful. And I don't really know exactly what they do up there because it's classified, but instead all they did was act like they were better than me so that they could be up there. And I couldn't, and it wasn't just because they wanted to be up there, it was because he didn't want me to be up there because then he couldn't be over there. And or if I was up there, I would see what they did to me and how illegal it was, and they'd have to shut it down. And or they couldn't shut it down because I'll die, or they'll die. And it's so messed up. They changed my password to my Facebooks too. The only one I have now is the White Lion one, which doesn't even say my name on it. Well, it says Browning, but it doesn't say Tiffany, it says 7. I don't have any friends on it hardly, it's just one I talk to my sister on. But the Tiffany Browning one with me and my daughter and the button one, they changed the password to that because he changed the password to his, which is connected to mine, and they won't change it back because, I don't know, because he's a foul ball. I had somebody call me the other day and leave me a voicemail, which was one of my friends from my old life's, or 4 years ago, baby mama, cussing me out, talking about, you called me your arch nemesis, B word, well, I mean, this is where I live, come meet me out front, you know, I'm gonna beat you up, or whatever she was saying. I never called her nothing. I was looking at my Facebook one time, and I was like, what the heck, and I'm seeing somebody wrote from my Facebook to one of my friends, call me you gay, or no, they say you gay faggot, is what it said, and the other one said, call me B word, to a girl. And I'm like, I didn't say either one of those things. And I'm looking at one of my pictures, and my UE member, Jerry, he was a private investigator / part entity, he's like, look at this picture, and I was like, and there's somebody called the Guardians, and he's like, I don't get it, because I had like writing on the side that had to do with up here. It was nothing bad, it was just talking about the UE women and, you know, different stuff, and I'm like, why would he say I don't get it? Is he just not like the picture or what? And he's like, well, just hold on. And then all of a sudden, I didn't see it unroll, but all of a sudden the screen changed a little bit, and there was a whole bunch of comments of shit talk from girls calling Tiffany and Katie the dating sluts. No wonder why she made all this money and all this stuff. And I don't even know anybody named Katie. Like, it's that kind of stuff, you know. And then, like, one of my friends is one of my anyway, at some point in time, somebody wrote somebody I know and asked him to buy me cigarettes, and he came where I was at and gave me cigarettes. I was like, thanks. And they told me right then, as soon as because they could hear me being shocked about it, they're like, oh yeah, sorry, we needed some cigarettes. I was like, okay. Well, I don't even smoke cigarettes though. It's just stuff like that. And I have no idea what they have said to anybody in real life. I just know that they can change my videos, and they can also make my videos, depending on if they're in your head or not when you're watching it, they can make you see it or take it a different way. Everything is a homonym. It's like almost everything you say has a dual meaning. Because I've watched my videos before that didn't change, and it made sense to me and whoever's in my body, probably because they made it with me, but then I watched it again with someone else paying attention, and I'm seeing it from their perspective of how they might be taking it, and I'm like, Well, these videos that I make aren't for normal humans, they're for you guys. So you should already know the difference. My YouTube channel is not for human beings, it's for them. It's showing where I'm at and what I'm doing and what I'm going through every single day that they are legally connected to me. Every single day they're legally connected to me is one more day I don't get to be a good mom to my daughter because I can't work, can't function, I can't get a boyfriend to support me over there because now that I have an eviction, I can't do nothing. They owe me millions of dollars at this point. I'm burning in my legs right now and my head. My liver is a 250 or 300. They're calling it a fatty liver. I think it's because they're timesing stuff into my bloodstream, or like I don't eat much at all. I just eat healthy dinners at night and every once in a while have a nice lunch. But I was eating sugars the first 2 years. The third year, I got hooked on this sour cream and salami. I would eat 2 of those a day, some pickles and like a yogurt. Anyway, the point is I did eat fatty foods for about a year, and that will snacks, sugar snacks, and that's the only fatty thing I had. Plus, I used to eat a lot of cheese. That was strawberry, and so at the end of that year is when I started gaining weight. So that's when I stopped eating like that and just eating dinner when my mom would make it, and I've gained nothing but weight since then. Since I stopped eating like that, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. Everything's backwards. I'm so sick of sitting here every single day, 18 hours a day, talking to the camera, them talking to the camera through me, and or in the mirror, in and out of my head. It is literally like Groundhog Day, every day, 18 hours a day. I literally have to wait for them to let me get off the bed to go pee, because once I move from a certain area, it changes into somebody different. And there are times and stuff into me while I sit here, like this one day, I was having like a slight allergic reaction to an antibiotic, and then my cheeks started getting hotter and hotter and hotter until they were purple, and I put a temperature thing on them, and they were like 105 degrees, and I was checking my temperature and it was going up and up, you know, and so I started getting scared because it was purple, like burning hot purple, like purple, not just red flushed, purple. And by the time I got to the hospital, the temperature was gone and the cheeks weren't purple anymore. And the hospital is like 15 minutes from here. I sit here and they do this stuff through my head, and it feels like somebody's putting screws into my skull through my scalp. It doesn't sting, but it hurts, like hurts. And there's these burn things that come down, and I can see them, and they look like a little electric charges. And then next thing you know, I have that little tiny bald spot, or my hair's broke off. Like if you can see this, I got this weird short stuff all over my hair. They did this something called a gaslight, which nobody will believe in a million years, but I felt this. I heard him say he's gaslit, right? And then I don't know if you've ever lit in a gas stove. Oh, that's not her. I don't know if you've ever lit a gas stove before, but when you light it, it goes boom, with the blue little flames all around it, right? Well, he said he's gaslit, and then next thing you know, I felt heat, and he goes boom all around my head, and I was like, what the crap? You've got to be kidding me right now. And then when I went to wash my buns out, my hair was melted to each other, to itself, burnt to itself somehow, almost like I had plastic hair on or something. It was dreaded together. Like it was like I took a rat comb and just tease it, and then put it in buns, and then put tons of hairspray on, and then glue in it. And I ripped out like half my hair trying to get those out. They put this heat spot on me sometimes. I'll feel it like on my elbow, which is about the size of a grapefruit. And when it's on my back, on the back of my neck, it's about this big, maybe a little bigger. And it gets really, really hot. And if I'm sleeping, I'll wake up and my whole neck right here is just drenched in sweat. My face isn't hot. My body's not sweating. Another time I went to the hospital was that kind of a thing happened, but inside my head. So when I woke up, there was timesing stuff into somebody while I was sleeping. And I woke up, and then the heat or whatever it was, the boiler room electronic burn thing, started heating up my brain really hot, really fast. And by the time I got on the toilet, I wasn't sick or anything. By the time I got onto the toilet, I passed out and I fell on the floor because I couldn't. I literally, that's how hot it got. And by the time the ambulance got here, there was no fever or anything. Another time I got RSV in my brain, which is something that a friend of mine that I had been around 6 months prior had. And when I went to the hospital, it was all the same symptoms. The cough sounded the same. The way I felt exactly the same as she felt. I mean, it's a pretty distinctive, croupy cough. And I got to the hospital, and there was nothing. There was no flu. There was no virus. There was nothing. They tested my blood. They took my nostril thing, my throat swabs. They tested everything. There was nothing wrong with me at all that they could prove. Nothing. I've had other things on my body, like pimples or zits, that, like, I'll get a pimple here, and like I'll push on it, and they'll be like, hey, he has a pimple there, that's funny. And the next thing you know, they rescan, and I get one on this side. Now he's facing a different direction. And now he's got one on this side too. I have Sidewinder, so it's like my eyes are controlled by a computer a lot of the times, and somebody sees out of this side with a different eye, and somebody sees out of this side with a different eye. Some people are facing backwards, some people are facing forwards. Not always looking out of my eyes, seeing me, my reflection, or in the camera, but it's someone else. They can sit in my body and see other things. And maybe it is like that for FBI and DEA, for certain situations, like maybe if you're a Fed or something, you're paying informant, but I don't know, because I'm not them. In any case, it's just scary. I'm afraid to die. I had a major heart attack the other day. I've had several heart chain adjustments where it feels like a minor one, like it hurts, but it's not the feeling when you're like, thank God I didn't just die. Because that's what happened to me, like that. And it's not because my heart is failing, it's because they're doing something to my brain. I've also had short-term memory loss off and on, tremors, where my whole body starts shaking out of nowhere. Dizzy spells off and on. Feeling like my legs are too heavy for me to walk with. There was this time where they did something through my head. This was in 2023. They did something where they did something where it looked like my room was rocking when I was looking at my blinds right through my brain, and then when I laid down, I literally felt like I was gonna roll off the bed. And you know, like when you spin around in a circle and you're still dizzy for a minute? Yeah, it was like that, but different, like not safe. And like right now, it feels like my scalp is burning electronically. They can send messages through my eyes and through my hands. And the messed up part is no matter how pissed off I get at what they're saying, like I want to yell at them from down here, they can't hear me if I talk out loud, only if I talk in my head, and only certain people can hear me. And you know, when you're mad, the last thing you want to do is be like, F you, in your head or whatever, you know, you want to yell at them, you want to say something out loud, you want to scream at them, like, you're breaking the effing law, like, what the, you know, whatever, just go off on them, and they can't even hear you. And when I get pissed or I get frustrated, I don't get to just walk out. I don't get to just log off like these people. I have to sit here and endure it. And that one's not your friend. Torment me. Your ugly private parts are all over the internet or some stupid weird stuff, man. Torment me about what my friends are saying or what they're doing. Every single day, Tiffany Brooks Browning's not guilty. Tiffany Brooks Browning was set up. I'm so sorry, Tiffany Brooks Browning. And then they come over here, F you, Tiffany Brooks Browning, you stupid B word. And I didn't say that, you stupid lying C word. And it's like, and I can't even talk back to them, man. I can only talk with the person in my head, whoever they're talking to. And these people in my head half the time don't even hear half the stuff that I'm hearing. But like I said, like I can get so frustrated down here and so annoying because I can't just get up and walk out. I can't quit my job. I can't just, you know, leave the room. or get in my car and drive off. I have to, they're still with me, still tormenting me and antagonizing me, and be like, yeah, she's crying, haha. Stupid B word, thinking I'm someone else or doing something to hurt them. The other day I was at my Uncle Jim's house and we were doing something through my eyes, and I thought I was trying to get disconnected from my friends so that I can sue somebody over there without them getting in trouble, because I know they had something to do with something, but I don't think it was from the ground where the humans are at. All being trained, driven, and mind controlled by the same piece of crap over there. And a couple other people too from the past. And so he starts torturing my crotch area, burning it like the whole thing. It felt like I dry shaved and I had razor bumps all over, and was pouring salt on it and then rubbing hot sand on it and then pouring alcohol on it over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, over and over again for like 4 hours. 4 hours. I'm sitting here in agonizing pain that if I was to go to the hospital, I couldn't prove it. And then he comes down here and talks out of my mouth. He's all, I'm gonna burn your body next, B word. Shouldn't have let him do something through your freaking eyes. He's saying it out of my mouth, calling me a B word out of my mouth. Think it's okay to physically torture a human being or anybody in alternate reality? It's not. It is not legal. You're not allowed to torture nobody. We're not in Iran. Jihad. Or wherever they're from. Sorry if that was the wrong word. Yeah, he's a fucking terrorist. Sorry I said that word, dang it. He's the same piece of crap that has come down here multiple times a year talking crap out of my mouth, and I don't even think he sees me at all. I think he's looking at someone else that maybe does have a conscience of being selfish or any number of things, but he is not allowed to be connected to me. He's a fed with a cop on top of him mixed with a paid informant somewhere else. It's not even in the same state. He's, I'm not going to disconnect until you give me my money. I'm sorry, the money you made illegally through me to what? Watch my family and friends instead of your own? Or illegally? Yeah, you're committing treason. You're violating my civil and my constitutional rights to not be a part of you when I asked for permission to further develop this software to get disconnected from you 4 freaking years ago. Yeah, because while they're sitting there doing virtuality porn, maybe not that guy specifically, but while they're sitting there doing virtuality porn or pornography or whatever they do, and they sit with people to get high or whatever they do in sick town over there, they're coming over here making fun of me, saying I'm doing it, or that I'm not cute naked. Why would you do that? And this kind of crap. Man, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if my friends and family have seen what I've seen with an Unroll or not. And up here they make fake Facebook pages to talk crap about people. They use real Facebook pages to ping off of. They act like they have a right to be me. They don't. They ain't Christian. They don't have Christian values. All they want to do is hurt people and get paid for it. Is he crying? No. I guess that's all for now. Artificial echelon intelligence, other universe doesn't lie in their subconscious brain for selfish gain. I would only lie to protect somebody else, or if I was really scared.